What is the most useless fact you know? Beavers potty train their young, and sometimes after they move out of their parents' basement the parents will come downstream and help the youngs to build his dam, so that he can attract a mate. And they will even come years later sometimes. Good parents. There are 3 golf balls on the moon. Someone's got one Hilluva swing. Dumpster is a brand name, like Kleenex. Update. 2 people pointed out that the trademark was cancelled in 2015. So for the other 2 people who suggested my mom trademark the name cum dumpster, I suppose now she could. And rollerblade and jacuzzi. Seahorses are some of the most effective ocean predators, as 95% of their hunts are successful. Dragonflies have a similar success rate. Natural in North Idaho. Elephants can move their skin to crush mosquitoes between their rolls of skin. Is it possible to learn this power? It takes 11-20 licks and a boring, long car trip to completely remove the candy coating from around the Tootsie Pop, fully exposing the Tootsie Roll center. Edit. I recognize that this is a different criteria than the query originally issued by the commercial. To get to the center implies the first time breaking the surface of the candy coating. Judging by the comments, this seems more around 200 to 500 licks. My criteria for completion was different, but I do regret not stopping to note the more popular criteria for success. Edit 2. Yes, tongue length and width will likely make a difference. In my case I remember trying to take fairly uniform licks that were roughly 1.5 to 2 inches of a relaxed, which allows for greater width of tangential contact surface, doing a single par. Now that I reflect, it was likely more Tootsie Pop being pulled over the tongue than the other way around. Or outside of the actual oral cavity, to prevent interference with cheeks, lips, and general humidity. Occasional nom-nom-nomming of the mouth to refresh the palate, saliva, and remove extraneous sugar from the licking surface. The information we need, but not deserve. Thank you for your service. Horses can throw up. If they do, they're close to death. Useless information for me. I have a horse girlfriend. She says horses are very fragile creatures and are always close to dying over something stupid. Yoda and Miss Piggy were both voiced by the same person. Frank Oz fans rise up. The Stegosaurus is as ancient to the Triceratops as the Triceratops is to us. In like 40 useless facts into this thread, and this one is the most mind-blowing by far. Putting time frames into perspective like that is just crazy to me. The dot over the INJ is called a tittle. That name makes me titter. Ohio is the only US state that doesn't share any letters with the word mackerel. It's also produced more astronauts than anywhere else. So there is something about the state that makes people want to leave the ducking planet. An ostrich's eye is bigger than his brain. Till I have something in common with an ostrich's. The line between the 2 numbers in a fraction is called the vinculum. There's a fine line between the numerator and the denominator. Tasmanian devils got their name due to their howling. Early European settlers heard them howl during the night and thought it was the devil coming for them. I would literally choose myself if I heard their howl, day or night. Removed. How are sloth not extinct yet? Obsidian is so sharp that it can cut your DNA. Not so useless. The machine I used to prep slides of biological material for an electron microscope used broken glass as a blade. Liechtenstein is the world's largest producer of false teeth. A truly useless fact. I like this one. Brazil requires all customs documentation to be filled out in blue ink. Blue makes it easier to warm. The document is not a photocopy. Keeping your rubber bands in the fridge will make them last longer. Well, duh, you're not using them. Gasoline will last longer if you keep it in the fridge too. BMWs have turn signals. Saw a stolen BMW the other day. How could you tell? The driver used the turn signals. Tapirs have a prehensile penis similar to an arm, and it's longer than they are. It directly puts semen in the cervix. Wheel, that's efficient. The barnacle is an animal with the biggest penis length to size ratio. Stop calling me a barnacle. All the swans in England belong to the Queen. It is also illegal in UK to handle a salmon suspiciously. when hippos chiz their tails spin, which brings a whole new meaning to chiz hit the fan. Spread the love, baby. There are more homosexual giraffes than there are heterosexual ones. Male giraffes will also headbutt a female in the bladder until she urinates. Then it tastes the pee to help it determine whether or not the female is ovulating. Eugene J. Weigel created the 8 to 5 step. You march 8 steps every 5 yards. For marching bands as the director of the Ohio State University Marching Band. As someone who loved marching band in high school and did all 4 years, this takes the cake as a useless fact. This needs to be much higher, but thank you for this knowledge. You can get arrested for whale fishing in Nebraska. Also Utah, as a matter of fact. Interesting, so many landlocked states have that kind of law. Removed. Casually plasma bombs fish. Bulls get aroused watching another bull mount a cow, but they get more aroused watching 2 females mount each other. Bulls love lesbian porn. Turns out the bulls were the cucks all along. A second is called a second because it is the second division, pars minuta secunda, of the hour by 60, the first division being a minute, pars minuta prima, Romani domum. The fruit fly Drosophila bifurca is only a few millimeters in size, but produces almost 6 centimeters long sperm. If we escalated it to human size, a 6-foot tall man would have a sperm 120 feet long. What the? How the hell does that work? Bananas are berries. So are watermelons. Almost all mammals larger than a rat take the same amount of time to empty their bladder, with the time averaging 21 seconds. I wonder who found this out. The word horny came from a Greek god named Faunus who had a horn. He was the Greek god of fertility. Edit. My bad guys, I'm WRONG. Please ignore and carry on with your regularly scheduled programming. Was the horn below his hips? An acronym is, when you say the word it represents like NASA or NATO, it creates a new word. An initialism is a subset of acronym, where each letter needs to be pronounced CEO or HDMI. Edit. I can't believe I took the time to defend the most useless fact I know. The spelled out form of an acronym or initialism, that is, what it stands for, is called its expansion. Wikipedia. Of course they're both abbreviations. You drop this. Snapple bottle caps have useless facts on them. Snapple bottle caps have useless facts on them. I would love it if they had this as one of the facts. A pig's orgasm can last up to 30 minutes. The dot over the letter I is called a tittle. Barbara's full name is Barbara Millicent Roberts. Lego has her underground vault which contains every set ever made. Edit. Okay, that's more than one, but I don't know if I'll get another chance to share my useless knowledge. Whoa, I need to know more about this Lego vault. Removed. Creamed. A duck's penis is in the shape of a corkscrew. However, a duck vagina is in the shape of a corkscrew, but turns other direction, making it more difficult for male ducks to rape females. The vagina even had dead ends to further fool the male. Doesn't stop them. I live by a river and can confirm that male ducks will rape anything even vaguely duck-shaped or sized. Dead ducks, live seagulls, abandoned shoes, bundles of driftwood, anything really. The airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow, European, is 11 m/s or 24 miles per hour. What about an African swallow? Color blindness affects on average 1 in 12 men and 1 in 200 women. The reason for this is because genes for the red and green color receptors are located on the X chromosome. Men have only one X chromosome, but women have 2. I don't have depth perception and my good friend does not have red/green color vision. One time we were in one of those parking lots with the little lights that turn red when a spot is filled and green when it was empty, and I asked my friend, is that spot open? Because I couldn't tell what light corresponded to what spot, and he told me I have no ducking clue, and one of the girls in the backseat almost peed herself laughing. A lethal dose is a lifetime supply. Deep. Lego people live in houses made of their own skin. You just ruined Lego for me. Even the neutrino radiation from a supernova is lethal at a distance of a few AU. Orman, you survived everything else. Can't even fathom the number of neutrinos/second that would need to be piling through your body to do that. What a weird way to die. A man won the Ig Nobel Prize for documenting 72 minutes of homosexual necrophilia in ducks. The first 36 hours were for research, the rest was just for fun. Penguins have knees. They also have skeletons that force them to be permanently doing a wall sit. The upvote button's color, 255, 69, 00, RGB is called orange red. Lamps in video games use real electricity. Darkness in video games also use real electricity. A tomato is a vegetable. It is also a fruit. But by that logic, so are cucumbers and peppers. And broccoli is the stem and leaves flowers of the plant. And potatoes and carrots are roots. Nobody ever says, a carrot isn't a vegetable, it's actually a root. Vegetable is a culinary term. It has nothing to do with what part of the plant you are talking about. It simply refers to edible plant parts, and usually specifies that they are used in savory dishes. This matters because it doesn't. Broccoli is the flower buds. Whales have 2-meter-long penises. They also have bones in them. Hippopotamonstrosesquipedaliophobia is the fear of long words, and I can spell it lol. This and several other phobia names, along with lisp and stutter, are proof that it's the evil scientists in the world naming things. I mixed fruit tea and chocolate flavored milk once, and it tasted like absolutely nothing. But what does nothing taste like? Bologna and Modena, two city-states in Italy, went to war with each other briefly for a variety of pretty stupid and pointless reasons. The war ended when the Modenese soldiers chased the Bolognian forces back to their city, threw a massive party outside the city gates, and as a final duck stole Bologna's bucket for the city well. The bucket is still on display in the Modena town hall. Oversimplified? There are no truly useless facts, only facts with a narrower and narrower range of use. There is a singular speck of dust on the corner of my desk, so small that it cannot be seen. Nintendo and the Ottoman Empire existed at the same time. Didn't Nintendo start out making playing cards? We all start out as an a-hole with a mouth. They are the first things to form in the womb. In my case they were also the last. We all start out as an a-hole with a mouth. There's a very easy joke to be made here, but I'm not gonna. Duck it. I think a lot of people never developed any further. You don't wash your hands. You just watch your hands washing themselves and stare like a psycho. This makes me feel weird. No number from 1 to 999 includes the letter R in its word form. 12. Australia lost a war to emus. And some idiots invading Australia for a war-lostomy. Australian mother duckers on the shore. Just imagine how that conversation played out. Officer, okay, breaching Australia's coastlines now. Firearms ready. Soldier, chisman, or duck another. Officer, what's wrong soldier? Have we been attacked? Soldier, yes. But not by the other side. Officer, then by who? Soldier, jellyfish. That little piece of plastic at the end of shoelaces is called an aglet. A-G-L-E-T. Niggardly is a word that frequently gets people in trouble because of how racist it is. However, it is completely different from the N-word and comes from completely different etymological roots. The N-word comes from the Latin for black. Niggardly comes from the Old English word, which was probably stolen from Old Norse, for stingy. It's useless because, even if you're using it correctly, someone could still get offended, and it is not worth the fight. If someone gets their jimmys rustled, they are not going to want to listen to a lecture about why they are technically wrong. You could end up getting in all kinds of trouble, and for what? Because you wanted to use an obsolete word. Only person who shows why their fact is useless. Bravo. Once useful but not really useful now, cab mounts on early 1970s Ford F100s were prone to rusting through, causing the cab to rest on the steering column. Dannebrog, the national flag of Denmark, is the world's oldest continuously used national flag. Earthworms are not native to North America. Well, some are. This paper suggests that 33% of North American earthworm species are non-native species. so there's still a good number of species that are native, although I'm unsure about the population differences between native and non-native species. Ants are immune to fall damage. Their terminal velocity is not fast enough to harm them. There are more planes in the world's oceans than there are submarines in the sky. This is deep and high at the same time. Koalas have smooth brain and therefore lack higher processing skills, so if you picked a bunch of eucalyptus leaves and put it in front of a koala, it would just stare at them and not realize they are food. Reddit. You are just a bunch of uniquely arranged atoms looking at another bunch of uniquely arranged atoms. Most toilets flush in E flat. I just tested this. All 3 of our toilets seem to flush in E flat. Also noteworthy, apparently E flat, when played loud enough, signals to cats that the apocalypse is coming. Did you know that a box jellyfish has 64 anuses? I should know. In the Australian jellyfish. I would have been disappointed if you didn't have a jellyfish fact. The average human has less than 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, 2 ears, etc. But more than 1 head. Deleted. I hike polar bears have purple retractable penises. Edit. So my most upvoted comment is about polar bear eggs. And under their white fur, their skin is entirely black. Allspice is just one spice. And Old Spice is made of new spice. Yellow pencils were painted yellow to indicate the graphite/lead was the highest quality from China. Lego is the #1 tire manufacturer in the world. Due to the presence of ethanol and certain chemical compounds found in raspberries, the center of the Milky Way galaxy smells like raspberry vodka. It amazes me that we can make an educated guess on the scent of the center of our galaxy based on traces of different element, but we still can't tell what's in our oceans. Science is weird, man. The human body can live for 3 days without skin. I've wondered this. How alive-skinned people would be. I think it was a movie where someone was skinned and then walked off, and I was like, how realistic is this? Female fish will often fake orgasms so they can leave and get a better partner. Same. A few hands selected for you. In China it's forbidden to hug a tree. Ostriches don't put their head into the sand. Frogs can't swallow due to their tongue. They do it with their eyeballs. Isaac Newton invented the cat door. The eggs of ostriches are bigger than their brains. The Hawaiian alphabet has 13 letters. Pearls dissolve if you throw them in vinegar. A 70 kg person has 0.2 mg gold in it. Stewardesses is the longest word you can type with only the left hand. The Coca in Coca-Cola is from the times where Coke still included cocaine. Every second 100 lightnings strike the earth. The moon is always showing the same side of it. Squids have rectangled eyes. Monopoly is the worldwide most sold game. Ants stretch when they wake up. Owls can't move their eyes. Elvis is actually called Elvis Aaron Presley. Cats have 32 muscles in each ear. Edit. Grammar. Edit 2. Added first 2 facts. In a deck of cards the King of Hearts is the only king without a mustache. He's also the only one stabbing himself in the head with his sword. Coincidence? Oh my. You watched until the end? That's fucking awesome, dude. Thanks for watching.